The plane hadn't even left the gate when drama unfolded in the aisle. A woman in a flashy, expensive suit marched down the row, clutching her designer purse tightly. She stopped at her assigned seat, glanced at me, and froze. Then, with a loud voice everyone nearby could hear, she said, "I am not sitting here. I refuse." At first, I thought maybe she wanted extra legroom or a window seat, but it became clear quickly. She didn't want to sit next to me. She made a scene, waving her hands at the flight attendant, demanding a different seat, muttering under her breath about people like me. The passengers around us shifted uncomfortably, watching as the tension grew. The flight attendant tried to calm her, whispering that the plane was full, that she would need to take her assigned seat. But Karen wouldn't let it go. She huffed, rolled her eyes, and snapped, "I paid good money for this ticket. I'm not sitting next to him." The embarrassment should have been mine, but honestly, I just sat back quietly, almost amused, because I knew something she didn't. After several minutes of her arguing and holding up the boarding process, the head flight attendant came over. Karen crossed her arms, pointing toward me like I was the problem. Other passengers were now recording on their phones, sighing in annoyance. The attendant finally told her, "Ma'am, if you refuse to sit down, you'll be asked to leave the flight." That's when she reluctantly slumped into her seat with a dramatic sigh, glaring at me the entire time. The plane finally finished boarding, and the captain was called to the cockpit. Passengers settled in. The safety announcements began, and Karen leaned back with a smug look, as if she had won some kind of silent battle. But she was in for the biggest shock of her life, because the moment the flight attendant welcomed everyone and handed the microphone over, the captain's voice filled the cabin. "Good afternoon. This is your pilot speaking. My name is Captain James Walker, and I'll be flying you safely to Los Angeles today." Karen's head whipped around, eyes wide. As I stood up from the seat, she had refused to take next to me and walked confidently to the front of the plane. The same man she didn't want to sit beside, the one she thought was beneath her, was the one in charge of flying her across the country. The gasps, the whispers, and even a few chuckles from the passengers behind us made it clear everyone understood what had just happened. Karen shrank into her seat, suddenly silent, her arrogance gone in an instant. As I stepped into the cockpit, I couldn't help but smile. Sometimes, the best response isn't an argument or anger. Sometimes, it's simply letting the truth speak for itself. And on that day, the truth soared higher than any plane in the sky.